All right, guys, welcome. Happy Sunday. Listen, I'm Portia Johnson. I have here Justin Johnson with me, and I want to first welcome you to our third episode of Millennial Power Couples, which is Marriage and Miscarriage. So, guys, I have the pleasure of being around a lovely power couple. I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves.
Well, I guess I'll start. Being the man of the house, my name is Nathan T. Jenkins II. My mom always told me to put my whole name. So Nathan T. Jenkins II. This is my lovely wife.
Rashida Johnson Jenkins.
The devil is a lie.
He don't like for me to hyphenate my name.
Right. No, the devil is a lie. No. Yes.
You got to drop that
Jenkins.
other part.
Yes.
Rashida,
Yes.
Where we're here in the Jenkins household. And we're super excited. Thank you guys for inviting us into your beautiful home and being a part of the show.
You are so welcome.
Listen, we know that this topic is a very sensitive topic, but we also know that there are a lot of people who have had the same challenge and they want to know how you guys got through it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And first start off with, how did you guys meet?
Oh, let me let you tell the story. She lies. And so tell the story, and then I'll correct.
Okay, so we actually met online. Plenty of Fish.
Wow.
First couple.
Yeah. One of my friends recommended that I try love online. I was a little hesitant about it, but got online. Horrible experience. I mean, guys were aggressive. Just when I was about to close my page, this guy comes and messaged me. And he was real cool. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give him a chance. And we chatted. We chatted online for about 2 weeks. He never asked for my phone number. So I felt like, I ain't going to get to know him by text. So I was like, okay, you're going to ask for my phone number. And he finally did. And once again, he got my phone number and started texting me again.
It was because you just really don't know. You don't want to be too aggressive, you know, and can I have your number? Then you call, and then you're thinking that you're calling too much. So I'm like, okay, let me just ease my way into conversating with her, and it worked out.
Yeah,
I think it worked.
So
out.
we're an online success couple.
Oh, right,
it's possible.
It's
possible.
possible.
Now let me tell you where the lie comes in.
Okay.
So we decided to meet up on a Good Friday, and we want to meet up at Starbucks.
Okay.
Had never met her before. Seen her before. So she comes in. It was probably around 9:50 or something like that. Did not know it because I thought the Starbucks closed at midnight. So they make the announcement, we're getting ready to close in about 10 minutes. I said, okay. I said, well, we can't sit here. So I said, well, Easter is tomorrow. I'm going to church. So I said, I need some starch, because I had to, starch down and everything else. So there's a Walmart not too far away. I said, hey, do you mind following me to Walmart? I need to get some starch. Straight up, telling her. She said, okay. We drive to Walmart. Well, she follows me to Walmart. We go in. We have a good conversation walking through Walmart and everything else. She claims that when she first saw me that I had on some black pants, some white tube socks, and I was flooded. I'm like, I have never flooded in my life.
I promise y'all he was. It was a turn off. And then he took me to Walmart for a date. So I was definitely turned off.
It was not a date. It was not a date. I just needed some starch. Then she further goes on to say that when it was time for us to leave and everything else, that I did not call.
He did not call
to make sure she made it home.
So I thought we were done. I was like, okay, because he wasn't even considerate to make sure I made it home. So
I am a gentleman.
Okay.
At all times, I think I called. Now I will admit to this though. I was supposed to meet up with another young lady that same day, but I actually blew her off so that I could meet her.
Wow.
I hope she's not
Look
watching.
at that. She's probably like, that's what that was.
But no, I mean that's how we met. We met online, and successful thus far.
The rest is history. So how long have you guys been married?
2.5 years, about.
Yeah, we got married June 17th of 2016. And so we're in October, so about 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Cool. That's great. So definitely, I got a question for you. So how long did you guys wait being married before you decided to have kids?
We didn't wait.
Right.
We're older. Once again, I was 35. How old were you when we got married? 38. So we knew time was not on our side. So that night, after we done partied, got rid of the family, we said we about to start making it happen.
You're like, I do.
Yeah,
we on the schedule.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like there was a need to wait. A lot of people that told us, "Hey, you need to enjoy each other," and you know the whole cliche thing. You know, wait 6 months so you can learn each other. But I said, you know, yeah, time is ticking, so let's go ahead and do it. The Lord bless us, then great. You know, if He doesn't, then still great. But yeah, let's not prolong the situation.
Yeah.
That's great. So, so tell us what happened last year around December.
Well, it was actually 2 years ago in 2016.
Okay.
You tell it because I want to cry.
Well, no. So you
okay, so we found out that we were pregnant in November the 2nd. I felt like I was pregnant, but Nathan thought I was crazy.
Well, and it's because, you know, she had taken pregnancy tests before. They had come up negative, and, you know, so I remember I got home that day, and she told me that she was she felt like she was pregnant.
Okay.
So I actually had to pray. I said, God, I pulled in the driveway. I said, please give me what to say to this woman. Because I said, I don't want to come off as if, okay, Rashid, you don't know what you're talking about, you know, but I want to be caring.
Okay.
But I also want to make sure that I said the right thing. I said, God, it's another letdown, so please give me what to say, you know, so I can be encouraging. So I came in, she says, I think I'm pregnant. I said, okay. I said, well, do you want to go get a test? She said, no, not really. I said, let's go ahead and get a test. So we drove, I said, I'm going to the dollar store. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of money.
Give me the one for 88.
Yeah. I'm like, I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on other pregnant, because I said she's not pregnant, you know, but you know, to appease her and, you know, make her feel good. So we get to the dollar store, and she all of a sudden just doubles over in pain from her stomach. And I'm like, okay. Now she's even taking it a step further, and she's thinking she's got pains in her stomach. I said, Lord.
She contracted already.
Exactly. You know, we go into the store. She asked the people, did they have a restroom? So they say yes. And let her go into the restroom. She comes back out, and now she's fine. I'm like, see, this is, you know, it's worse now. We get the test. I come in. We come back home. I'm in there about to eat something because her sister-in-law had come over.
Okay.
And her and the kids were over here, and they had bought some chicken from Chicken Express, right? They didn't fry it, but they bought it.
Yeah. So
she comes out of the bedroom and is like, what, are y'all cooking chicken? Looking like, no, nobody's cooking any chicken. She was like, it smells bad. I just smell something. I said, okay. I said, Lord, tell me what to say. So next thing I know, she calls me into the bathroom, and I said, so I'm prepared to see another negative pregnancy test, and all of a sudden, she says, you ready to be a father? I'm like, quit playing. You know, I don't want to play. And so, lo and behold, she shows me a positive pregnancy test. I had never seen a positive pregnancy test on my own, so I was excited, no doubt. So we were going to plan accordingly, you know.
So we started planning. We were excited. On Christmas Day would have marked 12 weeks. And they always say you wait until 12 weeks before you tell your family. So we had this big plan on how we was going to tell our family. We like to do game night. So we were going to act it out in charades. And unfortunately, on December the 21st, I'm sorry. I was in the room and Nathan was in the living room. And for some reason, I just wanted to hear T.D. Jakes. So I'm listening to his podcast. I'm cleaning up. I'm happy because, I'm like, I'm finally fit to be a mama. And I just got this short pain, and I just laid down. I was like, that's weird. So I said, well, let me just lay here until it go away. And then some reason I had to go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom, and I just seen all this blood in the toilet. And I lost it. I lost it. I started screaming. I know I was hitting at the wall, and Nathan was like, well, what's wrong with you? And he comes in, and he said, and I just remember him just shaking his head. So he's such a positive person. He was just like, it might not be nothing. But in my mind, I already knew that it was. I knew that I lost the baby. So we went to the hospital, and basically they didn't want to confirm it, but they couldn't find a baby heartbeat. So I'm looking at the sonogram, and I'm seeing our baby, but we don't hear a heartbeat. So Like one of the worst days of my life. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. One of the worst days. So, yeah, I'm a crybaby. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
So it was hard because after leaving the emergency room and got her back in the bed and told her to rest, she's still bleeding, right?
Yeah.
So she says, "Hey, I need to get some feminine products and everything else, and can you go get them?" I said, "Okay, no problem." So I go to Walmart, not too far down the street from the house, and I know she probably was wondering where I was because I was literally in Walmart on the aisle of the feminine products. I'm looking directly at what it is that I need, but I wasn't there at all.
Right.
So I know I stood on that aisle for a good half an hour, just looking at what I needed to get, but I just couldn't fathom why I was getting them. Didn't even realize where I was and everything else. I finally came to, so I check out, and then I know I'm on my way back to the house, and I'm a man of faith, no doubt. But I think this was the very first time that I had actually got angry at God and I actually questioned him. And I think the reason why I questioned him is because he knows me more than anybody knows me. And he knows that the one thing I've always wanted to be is a father. Mm-hmm. And so the very fact that I have now gotten to the part where I'm going to be a father. I've seen the sonogram. I've held the sonogram. We are shopping for cribs and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, we lose the baby. Now, we didn't see a heartbeat. You're still supposed to have faith to believe, nah, that's just the machine is messed up and things like that. But I had to pull over to the side of the road, and I was mad, and I questioned him, like, why would you even allow me to see a positive pregnancy test and allow me to see a sonogram? I had a recording of the heartbeat and all of this stuff. We had put together a gift for my father and stepmom who live in Nashville, and we had packaged it up. We actually sent it to them, and it was going to be their way of finding out for them to open it on Christmas Day. So I'm thinking, all these things are running through my mind, like, why would you allow us to go through this, wait all of this time, and then finally we get there, and then you take it away? And it was hard, and it took me a minute to understand why he did it, and also not be mad at him anymore. Because again, I figured we could always try again, and then he would allow us to get pregnant again. But it was hard.
Yeah. And you kind of flowed into it already. As a man, this is happening to her. It's her body. But even though you both are involved, how do you cope with handling a miscarriage?
It's for me. It was hard, and it still is hard, because you see men that have children and don't want to have anything to do with them.
Yeah.
You see couples that have children, they mistreat them, and they talk to them any kind of way. They don't provide for them and things like that. And I'm like, here I am. I'm 41 now, and I'm like, I have been trying to have a child for this long, and everything that's within me, all the love that I have, I'm going to pour into that child. And the very fact that I haven't been able to have one is very hard. Even sitting in the barbershop, you go, guys, you go to the barbershop, you talk about everything in the barbershop.
Yeah.
Y'all probably don't know that, but we talk about everything in the barbershop. And so you see a man come in with his little son for his first haircut.
Yeah.
And you sitting there in the chair next to him, and they talking, and they talking about their son playing football and basketball, and I got to take him to this camp and all this other stuff, and you sitting there and you can't participate in the conversation. So it is mad hard. You even start to question yourself as a man. Because if you can't do nothing else, you ought to be able to produce a child. Yeah. You've been checked out. Doctor said everything is fine. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do anything to my body that will cause an issue. And the one single thing that I want, I can't get.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, I mean, it is devastating. I've even as I've come home, I've cried. I've had friends that have called me and said, hey, guess what? We're pregnant. We're having our new child and everything. And I remember a good friend of mine, he called me and told me about him and his wife getting pregnant, and they were going to have their third child. And I mean, I just literally fell over and just cried, because I'm like, here they are on number 3 and I can't get one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is hard. It continues to be hard, but I just have to stand on the faith of God.
I want to take it back, because while you were in the Walmart aisle, physically there, but not mentally there.
Mm-hmm.
How were you just being at home? You finally, not that you wanted a long time, but it was a moment where you were by yourself. What was going through?
Well, I'm the type of person, I cry and I get everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And my way of coping, it might sound weird, but I cry and I punch stuff. I get a pillow and I punch. So while he was gone, they gave me because I didn't want him to think I was crazy.
Yeah.
So they gave me an opportunity to get everything out. And it's great that you asked me that question because I was like, okay, all right, we know what the next step is. You're going to have to go to your doctor, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of calm myself down. And then when my husband comes through the door, he's crying. So those emotions came all the way back. Because I'm like, at this point, I'm grieving, he's grieving, but I don't know what to tell him.
Yeah.
I didn't have no words because I'm like, I don't have words for myself. So what I'm going to say to him, the only thing I can do was hug him. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and my husband is a man of God. And when I heard him say, why God, why you allow this to happen to me?
It did something to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh my God, I lost faith. I can't get him to lose faith too because we're going to be messed up.
Yeah.
We're going to be messed up if both of us has lost faith. So yeah, it was really hard. So.
Wow. So leading to our next question, going day by day, you guys, amazing couple. You go through this incident that happened in your family. How did you guys as a couple move forward after all this happened to be able to get back on a more of a positive state of mind?
Well, I am a big communicator. I guess it's just a social work in me. So we sat down and we talked about it. As hard as it was, we had to live through the incident. We had to talk through it. Of course, we're trying to make sure we didn't do anything wrong. Because, I mean, that's the first thing we do.
You kind of blame yourself.
Yeah. Was I cleaning too much? Was I doing this? Were we because we were decorating for Christmas, were we doing too much? So we had to actually walk through the process, and then we prayed. I mean, because at this point, a lot of people didn't know. So that was another thing. It was a lot of people that didn't know, so we didn't have anybody to consult with and say, hey, can you help us out? Because this was a secret we kept.
Yeah. And I think, too, for her, she, more than anything else, blamed herself.
Yeah.
And she blamed herself, and she actually used it as a way to think that God was punishing her. And, you know, I told her, I said, I don't really think that God would punish you in this way. I mean, we've all made mistakes and things that we've done in the past, but I don't believe that God would use something like this to punish you for something that you've done in the past. So we have, you know, we sat down, we talked about it. We say, okay, well, let's see what we can do better. Let's chart when you're ovulating. Let's go to the doctor, make sure we get checked out again. Let's go and invest in, you know, let's check with the, what is it called, IVF and all of these other things, see if the insurance will pay for it, things like that. And even in doing that, you know, she's like, I give up. I don't want to chart anything. I don't want to, you know. Then I came to the point where I'm like, no, let's chart, let's try. Then another season came and I'm like, forget it. I don't even want to try it. I'm like, we don't have no children. It is what it is, you know. And you at some point, for her and myself, you get openly defiant. Yeah. You know, and almost to the point to where now you are antagonizing each other. You know, she comes in and she, you know, bought this ovulation kit, and I'm like, you know, I go and hide it. Like, what are you? We not finna go through this no more. Right. And then, you know, she's like, okay, I'm not finna chart. And I'm like, hey, we like to walk through the neighborhood. And I said, hey, let's start charting again and everything else. He's like, but you said you didn't want to. And I'm like, I know, but it's a different day. Yeah. So I mean, you go back and forth with one another, and I think more so than anything else, she's right. She's a better communicator than I am. I would be honest.
Most women are.
Exactly.
and so, you know, she will start the dialogue, and then eventually she'll crack the shell, and, you know, I'll open up and discuss what my thoughts are. But, you know, with the communication, I think that we've done a pretty good job of being open with one another.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to, as a man, I don't want to be so secretive to the point to where she's having to try to figure me out. You know, we're beyond the figure out stage.
Yeah. You
know, I know her. She knows me. She knows when I'm mad. You know, she knows when I'm upset. She knows something bothering me. I may try to hide it, but somehow or another she'll always know, and then she'll eventually be able to break it out of it.
Yeah. And I guess to say, you know, have we fully coped with it? I don't think we 100%, but I think we're definitely 90% of it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when that anniversary time come around, once again, Christmas is about to come up.
Yeah.
You know, you try to celebrate it in a way where you're not grieving and just celebrating that life. But we find ways to try to cope with it, but it's still not where I would like for it to be honest with you.
That makes sense.
So that was kind of leading into my next question. You guys have been married to almost 3 years now. Miscarriage is now a part of your journey in marriage. How do you keep the marriage intact and move forward?
We laugh at each other every day.
Okay.
I mean, you know, she's talking about me. It's more of her talking about me than me talking about her.
Y'all got us rolling over here.
Yeah, you know, so I mean, and you know, she'll score on me, and then I got to come back. Sometimes I don't have a clever comeback.
Yeah.
But at least, you know, we try to keep laughter in our marriage. Our family support is awesome.
Yes. Family and friends.
Family and friends.
Yes.
Support is awesome. And so I think the one thing, we try to meet each other where we are.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a time when I'll come home, she's had a bad day. And also, as a husband, sometimes all we think about is fixing. And I had to learn how to listen because she's venting. And so I'm like, you know, something
You gotta
happened.
listen. I'm venting here.
And it's oh my God, it's a fine line. It is hard to read. But you know, so sometimes I get caught at not fixing, or I'm just quiet to let her, you know, talk. And then she's like, "You ain't got nothing to say." And I'm like, "But I thought you were venting, so I'm just trying to let you get it all out." So I mean, it's a catch-22, no doubt. But I think that being able to be again open with one another, and for us to laugh at each other, and we're adventurous too.
Yeah.
Yes. We go to different restaurants. We try new things.
Groupon is our friend.
No doubt. We ain't got a lot of money.
Yeah.
So find the best deal. Free 99 is always the best price. So yeah, being adventurous, trying different things. You know, just incorporating family and friends, and just having a good time. I mean, life is not so short. It's just that you're dead for so long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next question. So will you guys ever try to have a baby again?
We are trying.
Awesome. That's great.
We are trying. It's hard. I went to a doctor. He started me on Clomid.
Before she even says that, we didn't even tell you what happened as far as why we think that we had the miscarriage.
Well, we know why
we know why we had the miscarriage. So when we had gone to the doctor, great doctor by the way, she told us after doing a sonogram and everything else that she had fibroids. And so from the sonogram, it looked like that there were maybe about 5 or 6 fibroids. And then after doing more investigation, she had 15 fibroids. And so they were different sizes, from quarter size to even, you know, real small. And so basically when you have, and fibroids live off of the blood supply. And so you have 15 fibroids, and then you have one baby. And so the one baby is needing, you know, blood supply to live off of, and then you got other 15 enemies that are living off the blood supply. And so they won. Is basically what happened. So she went in and she had surgery. And they were able to go in and remove, I think, 13 of the 15 fibroids. And so that was hope. Because then it kind of gave us a sense of knowing that it wasn't our fault.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems that fibroids are kind of common. We don't know where they come from. They can't give us any research, anything about that. So the goal now is, now that she's had the surgery and got the fibroids removed, then, you know, we're trying. You know, and so we'll see what the future holds. But
well, he probably don't know. I went to a doctor.
I don't know.
No, I'm just saying because I was going to make a point. Went to a doctor. They do all these wonderful tests. So he was like, "Oh, it looks like you're doing good." But wait a minute, we see fibroids again. So they have coming back. Not as many as it was before.
Okay.
So I'm in the doctor's office. Here we go again. You know, if I do get pregnant, we got to worry about we got to worry about these fibroids again. So the doctor was really, really nice. You know, he was like, I deliver women women have babies with fibroids all the time, but I'm trying to explain to him, but
What
I had it
happened.
before and it took my baby life.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're struggling with, okay, if we do try, are we going to have a healthy baby? And that's something that I'm really nervous about. Now we're still trying, but I'm nervous about that.
You have a little anxiety.
Yes.
Moving forward with it.
Yes. So, I don't think we will ever stop trying.
Yeah.
To answer your question,
Mm-hmm.
we might be like Sarah, Abraham,
Lord help the day. Help the day.
but we're not going to stop trying.
I want to know, first off, you guys are being courageous with
Thank
sharing your story and the testimony, and we already know great news is going to come moving forward from this.
Thank you.
What is, with this being a challenge, what is the lesson? Because you guys said you guys prayed together. You did question God at first. What do you think? What is the answer that you think you received, that the reason of why this happened? What's the lesson you feel like you learned from this challenge?
For me, I'm very impatient. And I think, too, I want my life to go a certain way. You know, I make
You got
this
it all
blueprint.
planned
Yeah,
out.
I got it all planned.
Mm-hmm.
This is how it's going to happen. Boom, boom, boom. And I think God is teaching me that you don't have it in control. I make the final plans.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if anything, it's teaching me patience. It's teaching me to keep my faith, because I've lost it several times.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what it is teaching me to be patient and let God take control.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we don't know when he's going to do it.
Right.
And
Because he's moving on his time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like, God, I just turned 30. Hey, come on, we got to do
Yeah.
something. I wanted to retire at 60, but I'm like, it's still happening if we have a baby. But yeah, it's teaching me patience and, you know, walking on faith. And that is two things I struggle with. I'm going to be honest with you. Two things I definitely struggle with.
I think for me, similar to what she's saying as far as having a blueprint, I have always said that I want a boy. I didn't want any girls.
What you got against girls?
No, I tell you, I would
You want a boy
we want a boy too.
And so, but the one thing that I think I've learned from all of this is that when you can ask God for what it is that you want. You can have, you know, a specific desire, but sometimes we limit God. And I think that by being so specific, saying I want a boy, I want him to be this tall, I want him to be athletic, I want him to do this and that and such and this and this and that, then you kind of limit God on the possibilities that he can send your way. Who says that I can have a girl who's just as intelligent, just as tall, just as athletic, and, you know, things of that sort. So I think that what I have done is that I've totally changed my perspective to say that I want a healthy baby.
Yeah.
Whether it be a male, whether it be a female, I just want a healthy baby. And I think that with that, I'm taking the caps off of God and just say, hey, any way you bless me, I'll be satisfied. And so I think that's a lesson that I have learned. And I've also learned that my wife, she's a pillar of strength. And so I have to look at her and the way that she deals with her family. You know, she's the rock for the family. In my opinion, she's the rock of the family. And so to be able to see her, you know, deal with all that she's gone through and still have positivity in her mind and in her speech and everything else is something that I've definitely learned that if nothing else, I can lend to her. Even though I'm a man.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, man, you know, hey, I can handle it. I can get it. You know, sometimes you got to be vulnerable with your wife.
Right.
And, you know, I got to look to her and say, hey, I need you to encourage me. And so she's good about doing that.
I didn't know you felt that way.
Calm down. Calm down.
And that's you know, after hearing y'all testimony and y'all sharing everything that y'all been through as a couple, I mean, what I got from it is that y'all are letting go and let God.
Yes.
And that's a good place to be in. So it leads to the next question, which is, what are the 3 marriage tips you will share with couples that's watching the show that may be in the same situation you're in? What are some 3 marital tips that you want to leave with the audience?
Well, like you said, let go, let God. Definitely. That faith. Laughter is the best medicine.
Laughter.
And seek help. It's okay to ask for
Yeah.
help. I think sometimes we're so scared, or we don't want people to know our business, or we think somebody's going to judge us. But I mean, that's why God created professionals,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Most
to help.
definitely.
So definitely seek help. And that's what helped me through a lot. Even I was still struggling with it, but I went to a therapist and kind of talked about it, and which helped me out a lot
Right.
too as well.
Right.
I think you have to keep an open mind too, and you can let people know somewhat of what your business is, but you have to be careful about who you share with.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I've always believed that everybody doesn't mean you good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that some people can, you know, they see the things that you have, but they don't know the struggles that you went through in order to get where you are.
Right.
And I think that, you know, you get advice from people who have had similar situations, or people that are, you know, wise in some of the things that they've gone through. So she's right about the laughter. I mean, you have to laugh at one another, and you just got to laugh at each other, because she's opened me up. It's things that I do that I never would have done. And it's all.
We ain't gonna share it.
No, we're not going to do that. I don't want people looking at me a certain kind of way. You know? But yes, make sure you laugh. Be adventurous. You know, do things that, you know, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, go places you've never gone. Try new things, and you know, definitely be adventurous and get out there and just be free.
Be free.
You know, be
with
free.
each other.
With each other, exactly. Be vulnerable, be free, and enjoy life to its fullest, no doubt.
I love it. Oh my goodness. I am again appreciative. I've learned so much just being here with you guys, and I know that you guys have too. Listen, this is the beautiful Jenkins family. No Johnson, just Jenkins.
Yes.
This is the beautiful Jenkins family, sharing their moment, their story, their testimony of what they've been through. And I hope that you guys receive some value from this. This is the Millennial Power Couple. Like, share. If you are a power couple in your own, just like the Jenkins, please tag your names below, because we want to hear your marriage story. This is Portia Johnson, Justin Johnson's with the Jenkins family, and thank you for watching. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers! Cheers!